Hi, everybody. Welcome to Kukoon. So whether you are just starting your journey with us or you've been following us for some time, we want you to know of a new resource that we have posted on our website for you. So this is called the Birth Bundle, and this is a compilation of resources and links and recipes and checklists and anything and everything relating to your first, second, third, and fourth trimester. So after you've had baby. Make sure to check it out under media on our website at cocoonyoga.com. This is your mommy only yoga class. So I'm gonna invite you to get into your space, whatever that looks like for you, whether you have kittens running around or new babies beside you, it is all good. Having some sort of block or pillow, available for you to grab and help to fill space is also very helpful, even if it's just a simple rolled up towel or blanket. So have that handy, you can press pause and go and get it. When you're ready, sitting up in a nice tall seat, whatever that looks like for you. So even if I'm cueing for something in this class and it doesn't suit you in that moment, doesn't feel good, please always feel free to modify. So I'm sitting on my seat on the mat. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can feel free to pull in props yourself to get a nice, comfortable seat. Essentially what we want is the pelvis rolled forward and you sitting up in a nice, tall seat. So when you're ready, gently close your eyes. And we'll start to tap into the breath. And so we always start here. This is our anchor, our point in which we start. With the breath, this is what holds us, what nourishes us, what keeps us calm, what helps get through the challenging times. And as mothers, we know that there are challenging times. It's to be expected. But anchoring in with deep, abundant, complete cycles of breath. In and out. And so continue doing this with your eyes closed if you can. Trying to wash away any and all distraction that might be going on around you, any noises, any sensations on your skin. Just letting it all wash away. And so motherhood is very similar to this practice. This practice is all about honoring where you're at right now. And so making sure that each movement, each shape that you move into nourishes you today. And then leave all the rest behind you. And that's what motherhood is, just taking all of the advice and resources and books that you might read and Facebook articles that you might come across, and taking what speaks to you and works for you in that moment, and then just leaving the rest behind. So let's take 3 more slow cycles in and out. Those open mouth exhales can really help to make you feel calm and grounded, especially if you're feeling a little whirly today. Open mouth and force that exhale out. Beauty. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes, adjusting to the light. And we're gonna start to get into the hips. So let's first start by taking the feet wide and giving a little windshield wiper action, just to kind of lube up and warm up the hip joint. It's a huge mobility point in the body. So we're just gonna start to warm it up. Yeah, good. Coming into staff pose now, which is not an easy pose to be in. Remove the flesh out of the way of your sit bones. And what we want to try and do here is roll the pelvis forward and come to sit up nice and tall with your ears stacked over shoulders and the shoulders over hips. Now again, if I don't cue for it, but it feels better for you to scoot a blanket and give a little bit of height to your sit bones, this can help you to achieve that nice tall seat a little easier than being completely flat on the ground. So check in, what do you need right now? Take it, leave the rest behind. Okay, so take a few nourishing breaths here. As we sit up tall, we're actually working the core. So don't think we're not doing anything here by sitting up tall, we are. Can you try and release the belly muscles though? Can you try and allow freedom in the six-pack area to expand, to ebb and flow with your breath? Because the six-pack doesn't need to be contracted. No, just the core way deep down inside is giving us this height. Good. Okay, bend into the right knee now. Keep that right foot nice and flexed and plant it on top of the extended left leg. Now we're gonna sit here and just check in. I'm gonna give you options. See what one feels good for you. I'm just gonna tent my fingers behind me right now and come into this nice tall seat. Let the right knee be heavy. Let it draw towards the ground. How does that feel? Okay, if you wanna juicify it a little bit, you can bend in to the left knee, resting back on your hands, and find that sweet spot for you. So what feels good for you? Once you've found it, make sure the heart is lifted. Squeeze your shoulder blades to your spine and set the blades on your back, finding this opening through your chest. So when we're holding baby, wearing baby, even carrying car seats, it's all this rounding of the shoulders in the back. And so we want to make sure that we're setting the shoulders up, back, and down, away from the ears, and lifting in through the heart. How does that feel with the hips? Ooh, juicy, juicy, juicy. Yes. Good. Okay, let's extend that leg long and do a little rock the baby with that right leg. So just grab a hold of the foot, grab a hold of the knee, and rock back and forth and back and forth. Yeah. Okay, now rocking that leg over top of the extended left leg as far as you can go, seeing if you can get them stacked on top of one another. Now that might not happen today and it might not happen ever, and that is okay. I have hypermobility in my hips, so it is easy for me. As some parts of parenting might be easier for me than for you. And we're all different. And that's just how motherhood is. The faster we can accept that, the easier it will be, this journey. So taking that knee over, planting it down somewhere close to the bottom knee. Keep the foot flexed. Sit up tall. How does that feel? Check in. Maybe you want to juicify a little bit by bending into that bottom leg. So draw the left heel, towards the right bum, towards the right hip. And here we create the steer's head, shoop, and coming into full cow's head. Still sit up tall. You can see I'm tenting my fingers behind me to give that lift through my heart, or you can help pull by grabbing a hold of the knees in front. What feels good for you? Take what you want from this pose, leave the rest behind. It does not have to be the way I am doing it. It does not have to be any which way except for your way. Big juicy pose, making sure you're not holding on to any tension anywhere else in the body. Can you make sure you're softening and releasing? Last breath. Good. Okay, if your knees are both bent, then I'm gonna get you to keep your feet where they are. And we're gonna start to spin towards the left to come to the other side. So when you're ready, start to spin towards the left. Keep your feet where they are. Spin, 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 spin. Click, 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 go my ankles. And then come back and around so that now the left leg is on top and the right leg is on the bottom. So we're in the opposite. Now, if your leg was extended, just do a quick switch. I'm gonna come backwards through that sequence now. So again, steer's head, whichever variation you're wanting to do right now is perfect for you right now, okay? Doesn't have to be what I'm doing. As mothers, we tend to compare ourselves a lot. We compare ourselves to our own mothers, the way we were raised. We compare ourselves to our friends, and we definitely compare ourselves to those perfect Instagram moms that we come across, or Facebook perhaps. So just being aware of that comparison sets us up for failure essentially, because each mom is perfect in her own right. And so you're not going to fit the mold of your friends, your sisters, cousins. No, they're doing what's right for them. You do what's right for you. Leave the rest. Okay, slowly starting to extend that bottom leg out and rocking the baby on the left side now. So grab a hold of the foot, grab a hold of the knee. Yes. So each of us always has something that we're working on. So just notice what it is for you. Is it patience? Compassion? Is it self-care? That's a big one for moms. All right, good. Planting the left foot edge on top of the right leg now. Coming into that seated figure 4, check in here first. How does it feel? You want to stay here? Or if you want to, you can bend into the right knee and find that sweet, suitable spot for you right now. Once you're there, lift your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades so they're kissing your spine. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Each breath is nourishing. Each breath feeds your muscles. Beauty. We'll do one more here. Oh, good. And then extend that leg out long. Oh, let's give one big windshield wiper here again. Moving back and forth and back and forth. Awesome. All right. Sweep those feet around. Let's come into a quick cat-cow on your mat. So I'll show you from the side view, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Let's start to guide our spine into a big, big arch. So drawing your belly button towards the ground, gazing up, and then follow your exhale, ride it out as you arc your back, your spine, pushing your heart center up towards the sky, drop the crown of your head to the floor. Continue moving in a nourishing way for you. If the wrists are giving you trouble, if they're a little bit sore, know that it's very normal. You can come down onto forearms. You can come up onto fists. Straightening the creases out helps eliminate some of that unhelpful sensation there. So modify, take what you want from this practice and leave the rest behind. You've got to do you. That's that self-care part I was talking about, right? Good. One more cycle in and out. How does it feel? And then come back into your tabletop. All right, so we're going to take a gaze over the right shoulder, over towards the right hip. And then imagine a string is pulling your right hip up towards your right shoulder. Good. Let's do the opposite side. String pulling your left hip up towards your left shoulder. Gaze around. And then come back through center. All right. So from here, take a big knee wide open, toes together to touch, and let's come into a wide knee child's pose. So really melting in your torso, in between your legs, melting in towards the ground, settling deep, getting heavy. This is getting into the hip joints as well. So you can do a little wiggle waggle with your hips back and forth. And again, if it doesn't feel good to come all the way to the floor, then feel free to pull in some props, placing them underneath your armpits or chest perhaps, to give you a little bit of height, bringing the floor up to meet you where you're at right here, right now. Because that is perfect. That is perfect for you. So don't push yourself. Don't compare. Know that where you're at right now is perfect. You are perfect. Good. Slowly walk your hands up and up and up. And we're going to come back into that tabletop. Now, if you find that wrists were giving you trouble, then feel free to, dog hair on my face, roll up your mat and give it a little bit of height. You can place the heels of your hand on the front of the mat there. And when you come up, there's a bit of an angle to your wrist. And anytime you straighten the crease out as much as you can, it helps to reduce that sensation. Okay, so just little tips, do what you need to do here right now. All right, we're gonna take that right knee out to the right, kind of like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, and open the hips up as much as you can. But try and distribute the weight in your hands equally, so don't put all the weight in your left hand, okay? Then from here, big circles with the knee, as if you have a crayon attached to your knee and you're drawing big circles on the wall. So open the hips up as you wrap that knee around in front, as wide as you can. Doesn't matter which direction you're going. We're gonna switch in a second here. One more big cycle. Check that you're equally distributing the weight in your hands. Good, and then now take it in the opposite direction. Big circle back. Feeling those glutes fire up, which is a really good thing for postpartum. After you have baby, if you didn't have that great alignment during pregnancy, your glutes tend to turn off. You get that flat bum. Yeah, that's normal. We want to avoid that though. So fire up those glutes and then lower the knee down. Give the hips a sway from side to side. Whew, those hips are getting really warm now. Okay, opposite knee, left knee comes around, wrap it front. Distribute your weight equal and evenly. How's your breath? Can you deepen it? Make sure your breath, the intensity of it matches the fire that's igniting within your muscles, your bones. Yeah. Your breath is what will help you get through it. One more big circle around and let's take it into the opposite direction. Here we go. So that hip joint is a ball and socket joint and it has a lot of mobility. Same with the shoulders, which is why these two areas tend to get injured a lot. Last cycle around. Good. And we'll come back through center. All right, so from tabletop, we're gonna sweep the right foot around and bring it to the outside edge of that right hand. Now, if your right foot is off your mat, totally cool, no problem. All right, then from here, from the side view, I'll show you. We're gonna untuck that back toe, extending the leg long and coming into this lizard pose. So this is a big, big hip opener. Now I'm gonna give you options here. So you can stay here. If it's too deep and you wanna come up a little bit, you can do that by curling the back toe under and lifting the leg up off the floor, no problem. Or if you wanna come into the full expression of the pose, coming all the way down onto your forearms and bringing the hands together to prayer or pressing them into the ground, whatever feels good. Remember, take what you want from this pose and leave the rest behind. And if you're like, not happening for me today, no problem. Just have a sip of water, take those nourishing breaths. You gotta do what feels good for you in each moment, what works for you. And that's good practice for mommyhood. One more breath. Slowly starting to walk back up and up and up. Now here, make sure you curl the back toe under first and then lift the knee, scooting it forward to come back into your tabletop position. Give the hips a little wiggle waggle. Whew, yeah. Ready for the opposite side. Take that left knee up, planting the foot on the outside edge of the left hand. Okay, now that back leg, scooch it back. Then you're just gonna untuck the toes or just do whatever variation you did the first time. Okay, honor where you're at. Move slowly there, making sure that each movement is thoughtful and nourishes your body. If you can't take a breath through a posture, pose, or shape, then that's an indication you're too deep. Can you move out of it a little or modify, perhaps bringing in some props to help extend your reach? Nice big abundance in your breath. One more breath, almost there. Good. And then slowly coming up, planting the palms, curl the back toe under and scooch that knee back and around so that you can wrap your left foot back and around into your tabletop. Okay, coming and sitting up on your heels. Let's give the wrists a roll out. That was huge. That was big, I know. Okay, in opposite direction. Awesome. Okay, sweep your feet around and come to sit on your bum. So set yourself in staff pose first, sitting up nice and tall. Remember, we're not just sitting here. When we're making a 90 degree at the hips, we're actually activating the core. So when you activate the core, it's not a big, huge sensation like you would move a bicep muscle and actually see it moving. It's an internal sensation. So it's very different than your six pack. So imagine a string is connected to your hips and then just cinch that string closed, just slightly, just slightly. So you're not holding your six pack, you're letting that area be free. And expand with each breath, just cinch. It's hard, it's really hard. And if you're newly postpartum, you've had many, many, many months of this area here of your core and your pelvic floor becoming weakened. So be patient with yourself, honor where you're at. Wonderful. One more breath here. Good. And then we're going to bring those feet back in, coming into bound angle. All right, take that right hand, wrap it around, grab a hold of the left knee, and then with your left fingers tented behind you, giving you that length. Take a big inhale. Exhale, gently twist towards the left. How does that feel? Good. And slowly coming back through center, left hand reaches over towards the right knee. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then on your exhale, find your twist. Wonderful. And then slowly coming back through center. Let's find a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you, and we'll do our closing. So this journey of motherhood, it's vast, it's challenging, and glorious, all in the same note. If you are looking for something a little bit more in depth and in detail, then please check out our 4th trimester program at cocoonyoga.com. We would love to share your experience, and this is a program that helps you every step of the way postpartum. So thank you so much for sharing this space and this time with me today. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you. Namaste.